What a game, right? The Mavericks come back from down 18 at one point and stun the Minnesota Timberwolves to go up 2-0, and they have yet to play a home game. Um, Words cannot describe how great Kyrie and Luca were in the second half. They were putting up stinkers in the first half, but at the end of the game, just came down to that Luka Doncic is better than anyone on your team. Let's Timberwolves side. They played all right. Jaden McDaniels, not the same game that he had, but obvious. That's pretty obvious. He's not gonna keep shooting like 6 for 7 from three. Uh, for the Timberwolves, it was Nas Reed who was going crazy from three. 7 of 9 threes. His last one was like a last second prayer, which almost went in. I thought it was going to. Mike Conley hooped today, and God, Anthony Edwards put up tour dates again. In fact, that is almost today's date. But yeah, he's been putting up stinkers as of late, and it's not looking good for people's agendas. Rudy Gobert, he was playing good. I still think he did play good in the game. Obvious his offense sucks, but for a Rudy Gobert game, this was not on him. People are slandering him for the shot Luca did. Uh, you know what? Why don't we just show that? And mute the audio so maybe I won't get copyright claimed. Um. Oh my God! What a jump scare! What that was. My apologies. Here we go. As you can see, he gets crossed up. That's all the space Luca needs. Pretty much around here, I would say. The second they just left Gobert wide open, I mean, not wide open, just on Luca, I pretty much knew what was about to happen. I feel like the whole world knew what was about to happen because Luca does that so many times. On the Mavs side, uh, your role players weren't that great besides your two big men. Oh, I'm only looking at fourth quarter, that's why. Derek Jones Jr. didn't shoot that well. PJ Washington has not played great this series, which is good because that they're still winning. Jaden Hardy, he was helping the comeback in the third quarter. But this was mostly just I have Luca and Kyrie. You guys don't have them. But the Timberwolves have been the opposite. Their role players have been stepping up hugely, and their two best players seemingly cannot just buy a bucket at all. Karl Anthony Towns, 4 for 16. He got benched because he was just so bad offensively. I don't even know if he was in the game for the last shot. Um, Anthony Edwards had two costly turnovers. Not good from him. Just throwing the ball out of bounds. Obviously not shooting well. And he's not even playing defense that well because, God, Kyrie and Luka were cooking him last game. He got a stop on Kyrie, but that was about it. That was all the defense I could really remember from him. Uh, yeah, this sucks if you're the Timberwolves. You lost your two home games. Um, Not many people have come back after losing their first two home games. I know Denver was able to, but they also had Nikola Jokic, so you're gonna need Ant to play like he's one of the best players on earth, which now watching him in these last few games, I don't know if he is one of the I don't even he might be top 10, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to make a whole list, but not as confident as I once was. It's nasty he was in Shea arguments, Tatum arguments. He's not that far off from Tatum now that I think about it, but yeah. Um, yeah, a lot of the it sucks that it had to be Rudy Gobert because now a lot of the blame's gonna go to Rudy when it should be going to Cat and Ant. Um, I don't know what they're shooting this series, but combined they only made 9 shots on like doing math in my head like 33 attempts. 9 for 33 is not good, guys. You wasted a historic Nas Reed performance. He was phenomenal today. Um, but yeah, Mike Conley also stepped up, so shout out Mike. I don't know. There was a controversial call where it should have been called a foul on Kyrie, but the refs didn't call it, and they could only review who the ball last touched, and it last touched the Timberwolves. So that sucks for the Timberwolves. But also, they were. I don't know. I feel like they were getting a pretty good whistle throughout the game. So I just want to see like second half. Yeah, Kyrie and Luka played way better in the second half overall. Um, this series might be ending sooner than we thought, unless Ant flips a switch or something. He's been bad for like the last week or two. Um, and it kind of sucks because I feel like Minnesota's a better matchup for Boston than Dallas is, but we'll talk about that if it comes to that. They didn't blitz the screen as much. It seemed like Gafford and Lively were able to create more than they were the last game, so maybe that's why. Also, a huge play was he took out Kid took out Kyrie during free throws to give him rest, and what was it? The Timberwolves called a timeout, so that's 3 minutes of rest. Then Dallas got a stop, and then Jason Kidd called another timeout, which what was it? He had a couple of timeouts, so I really like Kidd's management of timeouts so far. That controversial one last game where I thought he wasted a challenge in like the third quarter, but it didn't end up mattering. So, but Kidd has been coaching his ass off this series, and for the Timberwolves, it's literally just your star players aren't playing that good, so it just sucks. I don't think the refs are screwing over the Timberwolves or anything. But geez, yeah. Um, Timberwolves need to get one in Dallas to make it a series. Ideally, game three, they need to not go down 3-0 because no one's ever come back from down 3-0. Let's just. I guess we could talk about the game from yesterday. It was a Boston blowout. Siakam was hooping his ass off though throughout the game. That's all that. What was it? 28 points. Yeah, he was hooping. Hallie, he had to leave the game in the third, I think. It was still like possible to come back, but he had an injury. If he's out for game three, yeah, this is a wrap. I think they could win game three if he plays, and he plays like a normal Halliburton. Jaylen Brown's been hooping this whole playoff run. Honestly, if you just watch the Celtics this playoff run, and like you didn't know anything else about the Celtics in the past few years, and you just looked at me and told me Jaylen Brown's the best player on the Celtics, I wouldn't really have an argument for you because this guy's been. He had 40 points yesterday. Tatum wasn't doing much until about the third quarter, I believe, and he revoked his stat padding. But Derek White had a good game, just Derek White game. Drew Holiday is good offensively when he is not the third option or even second option like he was on the Bucks. So that's probably why we're not seeing Drew drop off as much, which is good. He found his role. This is basically the perfect team for him to be on, where there's three other scorers that should get the ball before you. But yeah, the Celtics starting five is crazy, and they're doing this without Kristaps Porzingis. So maybe Tingus Pingus doesn't even need to come back in this series. They'll probably bring him back if the Pacers win game three, because I think he was projected to come back around game four. But if I'm the Celtics and I'm up 3-0, I'll just shelf him until the finals, let him get another week or two of rest. So yeah, that's this video. The God, the Mavericks look a lot better than I thought. And by the Mavericks, I mean Luka and Kyrie. Luka's playing a lot better in this series than he was the last two, which is crazy because this is Minnesota. I thought was one of the best defenses I've seen, but apparently it was just mostly paint defense. And the thing with J Mac is just he's too small to guard Luka, so not many people could guard Luka. Dort was able to just because he was able to play football, but that's about it. I probably won't make a video for the Pacer game because I don't know if they're gonna win. But if they do, yeah, sure, they'll get a video. So leave a like and subscribe. Kind of wish the Timberwolves won this game so that this series would be a lot closer. But that's about it. So leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.